fun of you. I will tell you, though, I'd like to relive with you tonight the most terrifying moment of my life, where I really looked pure evil in the face, you know, the beast, 666. Not only the most frightening, but the most life-changing, horrifying, near-death experience of my entire 54 years on this planet. I was invited to see a screening of Julie and Julia. That wasn't the bad part. That was half of a good film. You know, the Julia Child stuff was awesome. That other, the whiny bitch, whoever she was. Anyway, I liked the movie pretty much, not half of it, like I said. Afterwards, my wife and I were invited to, like, I don't know, I just call it a reception for people in the studio and invited, you know, free food, free drinks, sounds good. We went. My wife and I are parked right next, strategically parked, I might say, right next to the buffet, having a few martinis. My back's to the room. We're knocking it back with a few friends, and suddenly there's this weird sort of atmospheric change in the room, like a rising damp, clammy cold sort of sweeps over all of us. If it was a horror movie, you'd hear this like in the background. Something is just not right. A few seconds later, there's a clamp on my lower spine. Something unholy has a grip on me, right here at the base of my spine. Everything goes into slow motion. Like if you've ever been in a car accident, you know how everything is in that ultra slow motion. You really don't know what's going on. Everything's moving very slowly. And I remember looking across the table with my wife, trying to get a read from her expression what's going on. Like if you've ever been in an emergency room, you're injured, you cut your finger or something, you break your wrist, you go to the emergency room, you're laying there on the table, and you're looking up at the doctor's face, trying to get a read from the doctor's expression. How bad is it? And I look across the table, and I see my wife's face like this. Which is not good. Slowly, I summon the strength to turn and look over my shoulder and see what could it be? What is this steely grip on my lower spine? The mandibles of some alien creature, some sort of device, I don't know. I turn slowly over my left shoulder and find myself staring into the dead shark's eyes of Sandra Lee. Nice. They say in Jaws, doll's eyes, right? But my wife, looking my wife in the eyes. And something you need to know is my wife is much younger than me. And after we had our first child together, our only child, she started taking mixed martial arts classes, about 6 hours a week. She became a fanatic for this sport. You know, for her sitting in the front of she's Italian, so that already gives her a temper. And she's somebody who likes to sit in the front row at MMA matches and watch grown men smash each other's noses into a shower of blood. No problem for her. She likes this. She likes this move, I know. She's always proud. We have a 6-foot heavy dad in our bedroom. Take from that what you will. 6 hours a week. She's just spoiling to use it. And understand, my wife, in an ordinary situation, if an over-enthusiastic female fan would approach me and put their hands on me at a bar, she'd probably say something like, I'll tell you exactly what she said last time it happened. She said, take your fucking hands off my husband, you plastic surgery whore, before I smash your face.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm looking across the table for some help. I'm saying, okay, baby, this is your moment. I'm waiting for her to come flying over with one of these on the top of the head, another one in the bridge of the nose. Okay, I'd have some tax problems, but such is the force, the mesmerizing force of Sandra Lee's evil, that my wife's just paralyzed here like this. So I don't understand why in this country we seem to work extra hard, spend extra money, and go out of our way to fuck up a simple, good Those guys are chilling, sir. I'm getting a piece of my mind. Try to find a nacho in Mexico. No. Cheddar cheese, sour cream, nuclear green guacamole, snow cone margaritas. Maybe it's Sammy Hager's house, but not in Mexico. Not fair, low. And I have some strong opinions about how we, all of us, might do it better. They're simple, obvious tips, okay? They're idiotically simple, and yet somehow we seem to get these things wrong again and again and again. First rule of travel, be grateful. Be grateful. How hard is that?
Yeah.
You've got an American passport. airport. How lucky is that already? You know, if you're in a developing nation, you're riding the bus and the police suddenly stop the bus and they come on and they drag somebody off, throw them in the back of a black van, it's probably not going to be you. So already you're lucky. You're lucky that you're even able to put together a few bucks and find your way to another country. You know, and you see the world. Your whole life changes when you go someplace else, you walk in somebody else's shoes for a little while. So, you know, for Christ's sake, be grateful. Make the most of it. Be polite. Dress appropriately in parts of the world, unless you're drunk. The Russians are not the friendliest people in the world. They're not exactly the most outgoing folks. Most of the Russian women you see walking around in Moscow, for instance, these statuesque, model-looking, beautiful. But if you look at their eyes, they have an expression in their face that says, you know, somebody could take a tire iron to your collarbone right now, and this expression wouldn't change at all. Nobody's getting too friendly with you until you run halfway down the bottle. That is, I love you, man, and poetry and song. Even I have a problem in Russia, honestly. I have a big problem in Russia. One of my problems. Here's the thing. I consider myself a professional drinker. But Russia's a country where every 90-year-old grandmother could drink my ass under the table. Really? And then drive me home. You know, slip me over the shoulder and then drive me home. I clocked it last time I was there. Because understand, the water's poison. You don't get anything on the table, especially when you're a guest, other than a lukewarm bottle of vodka, and maybe a pickle juice chaser, maybe a little pitcher of cranberry juice, but you better not be drinking that. It's personal. I'll tell you how in a minute. I clocked it, by the way, how much I drink every time I go to Russia. Unavoidably. Breakfast, every breakfast, 2 shots. Lunch, every lunch, 7 to 9 shots.
Yeah!
Dinner,
Yes!
dinner, 14 to 17 shots.
Woo!
In such circumstances, it's not a question, gee, I wonder if I'm going to vomit. It's really only a matter of when. The only question is, will I make it in a state of verticality out the door of the restaurant before I throw up all over myself?
You the man!
Just sag to the ground and explode from both ends. I respect your alternate lifestyle. No, I don't actually. Fuck you. How can you travel? How can you be a citizen of the world and be a vegetarian? You can't, exactly, you cannot. First of all, maybe I have one virtue, probably. Curiosity. I mentioned before, I'm grateful to be traveling. I'm actually curious about what goes on in the world. I'd like to see as much of it as possible before, something bad happens and I die. I'm very aware of the fact that I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be living the life I'm living. I want to make the most of it. If I find myself in someplace fantastic, particularly someplace with thousands of years of culinary tradition and all of these cultures, I would like to see as much of that as possible in the limited time I have on this planet at the table. So I'm curious. So this is my problem with vegetarians. How could you go to Thailand, for instance, and not try everything in sight? Want to try every flavor, every sensation, make every friend you can through food. How is this possible? It's like going to the Louvre and saying beforehand, today I will only be looking at paintings in the color blue and black. I'm pretty sure the other ones aren't that important. What are the reasons that you'd be a vegetarian while traveling? One would be health concerns over your health, right? I'm concerned about the cleanliness of my colon. I'd like to live a longer life. This is a bad reason. Every time you have a drink or do anything fun, you're basically shaving off some time on the other end in return for a good time now. And in the quest for knowledge and experience, to me anyway, it's certainly worth losing a few days, even if it's true. Personally, I'm going to wait for years for that. Supposedly veterinary diet makes you healthy. I'm still waiting 10 years later for some angry, pissed off vegetarian to come to one of these things and really give me a hard time. Spinach, can't get the kid to eat it. The kids are so attached to McDonald's. They love and they find it familiar and trustworthy so much that if you wrap any of these things like liver in a friendly McDonald's wrapper, they will not only be more willing to try it, they will actually like it more. dismaying, yes, but think of the opportunities to reverse engineer this process. So one might, some parent could perhaps take their daughter's favorite Barbie, saw its head off, dip it in, say, chocolate, wrap it in a McDonald's wrapper, put it in a McDonald's box, leave it on the cocktail table and say, Vanessa, Daddy's going to the corner. Whatever you do, don't eat that delicious McDonald's chocolate over there. An early, traumatic Ronald McDonald-related incident that could go a long way to breaking a fast food habit. You know, every time you drive by McDonald's from that point on.